You didn't get distance. You got proximity. Every day. Same triggers, same hallway, same air that once felt too heavy to breathe. And you tried to act normal, like nothing was happening inside you. Normal? Normal? You were stitching yourself back together in the same room that tore you apart. You were rebuilding confidence in front of the same eyes that doubted you. You were standing tall where you once collapsed. You were fighting panic while pretending to breathe calmly. That kind of healing isn't gentle. That kind of healing is violent. It demands discipline. It demands restraint. It demands war inside your chest. You didn't get a clean slate. You didn't get a new environment. You didn't get to escape the memories. You had to grow in the same soil that poisoned you. You had to learn peace where you once learned fear. You had to stand your ground where you were once broken. And nobody saw the discipline that took. Nobody saw the nights you held yourself together. Nobody saw the restraint it took not to collapse. But you did it. Quietly. Without applause. That is strength. That is resilience. That is power forged in silence. And you survived it. You grew in it. You transformed in the fire. And now nothing scares you the same way. Because you already fought the hardest battle, fighting yourself while no one understood. You learned to control your reactions. You learned to steady your breath. You learned to keep moving even when your chest felt tight. That discipline, that restraint, that inner war, that built you. So stop acting small. Stop pretending you're fragile. You already proved you're not. The same place that hurt you failed to destroy you, failed to break you permanently. And if it couldn't break you, what exactly do you think can? You didn't just heal. You adapted. You evolved. And now, you don't run. You build. You didn't get distance. You didn't get space to breathe. You got proximity. Every single day. Same hallway, same air, same eyes watching you like nothing happened. Normal? Normal? You were stitching yourself back together in the same room that tore you apart, and you had to pretend it didn't sting. You were rebuilding confidence in front of the same eyes that doubted you, and you had to smile like it was casual. That kind of healing isn't soft. It's violent. It's disciplined. It's controlled chaos inside your ribs. It demands war inside your chest. And you stayed. You stayed when it would have been easier to run. You stayed when your mind screamed, leave, leave, leave. And don't you dare minimize that. Because most people would have folded. You didn't. Listen carefully now. This part matters. Healing there rewired you. You learned to regulate where you once reacted. You learned to breathe where you once suffocated. You learned to speak clearly where you were silenced. That builds a different kind of strength. Not loud strength, not theatrical strength, internal strength. And here's what you don't realize yet. You're harder to break now. You're slower to panic, slower to collapse, because you've already faced the trigger. You've already faced the memory. You've already faced the environment that made you doubt yourself. And you didn't die there. You evolved there. Do you know what that means? It means you can handle pressure now. It means you can build under stress. It means the thing that once controlled you doesn't own you anymore. You had to grow where you were uncomfortable. You had to learn boundaries where you were disrespected. You had to find stability in instability. That changes a person. That sharpens them. That strips away illusion. That burns weakness out of the system. You didn't get safe conditions. You built strength anyway. You built control in chaos. And now you're standing here pretending you're fragile? No. You're not fragile. You're trained. Apply it. Don't romanticize what you survived. Don't turn it into a sad story you revisit at night. Turn it into leverage. You learned how to function under tension. You learned how to regulate your reactions. You learned how to stay when your instincts said run. That's not just trauma recovery. That's mental conditioning. And now you want to fold because things feel hard? Hard? You already did hard. You already stabilized yourself in unstable air. You already rebuilt confidence where it was dismantled. You already trained your nervous system not to collapse at the first surge. That means your threshold is higher now. Most people break when pressure appears. You learn to breathe through it. That's a competitive advantage if you use it. Don't waste the strength you forged. Don't disrespect the discipline you built just to survive. Don't shrink after proving you can endure. You didn't just heal there. You built internal control in chaos. That control, that's focus under stress. That's composure when others panic. And if you can stay steady in emotional turbulence, you can stay steady in ambition. You can handle pressure. You can handle discomfort. You can handle the boring repetition required to build something real. Because boredom is lighter than betrayal. Discipline is lighter than emotional collapse. You've already carried heavier weight. So stop hesitating. Stop second guessing. Stop acting like you need ideal conditions. You trained in the storm. You don't need sunshine to function. Use it. Use the strength. Use the discipline you built in the fire. The place that hurt you, it revealed your capacity. Now it's your responsibility to expand it. You think surviving it was the end of the story. It wasn't. Surviving was just the foundation. Healing there didn't just close a wound. It built tolerance. It built awareness. It built control in places that used to shake. You had to regulate yourself while still standing inside the trigger. That's not something fragile people do. That's not something weak minds survive. That's something forged. Do you realize what kind of neurological discipline that takes? To feel the surge and not react? To feel the memory and not collapse? That's training. That's conditioning under pressure. And now you stand here doubting yourself? After that? After holding your composure in the same space that once destabilized you? No. Listen. You didn't just heal. You upgraded your threshold. Your stress tolerance expanded. Your emotional regulation deepened. Your self-awareness sharpened. That means something. It means you don't need perfect environments to function anymore. You used to believe you needed safety to grow. You learned you can grow in friction. You learned you can build identity under tension. That makes you different. That makes you stronger than you admit. That makes you capable of more than you've been living. And if you don't start using that strength, it turns into restlessness. That's what that feeling is. That itch, that dissatisfaction when you drift. It's misused strength. You didn't survive that environment to settle into mediocrity. You didn't regulate your nervous system just to waste your focus. You didn't heal under pressure just to drift when things get quiet. You earned capacity. Use it. Capacity for discipline. Capacity for endurance. Capacity for sustained focus. And here's the truth. If you could build resilience there, you can build success here. Stop pretending you're fragile. Stop acting like you need better conditions. You already proved you can function in worse. The environment that hurt you, it accidentally trained you. Now it's your turn to apply it. You don't get to call yourself fragile after what you survived. You don't get to pretend you can't handle pressure after breathing through that environment. You don't get to play small when you already proved you can endure large. That place that hurt you, it revealed your nervous system under stress. It showed you exactly how your mind reacts when cornered. And instead of collapsing, you adapted. Do you understand how rare that is? Most people escape the trigger. You regulated inside it. That is not weakness. That is adaptive control. You learned to monitor your breathing when panic rose. You learned to slow your voice when your chest tightened. You learned to think clearly when emotions spiked. That is focus under pressure. That is executive control developing in real time. And now you want to doubt yourself in calmer waters? Now you hesitate over discipline? Now you shrink because something feels difficult? You already handled difficult. The real shift now is not survival. It's expansion. It's taking the same regulation you used to survive and applying it to build. Building requires the same skills: emotional control, delayed reaction, sustained attention. You don't need a new personality. You need to apply the one you forged, the one that stayed steady in chaos. That version of you exists. You've met them before. The difference now? There is no threat chasing you, no immediate danger forcing you to focus. So you must choose it voluntarily. That's harder. Voluntary discipline is harder than reactive survival, but it's more powerful. Because when you choose focus without fear driving it, it becomes identity. You trained your body not to panic. Now train your mind not to drift. Drift is subtle. It feels harmless. It feels like just a break. But drift compounds. The same way strength compounded in that painful place, weakness compounds in comfortable ones. You don't need intensity every day. You need consistency every day. Small, controlled repetitions. One work block protected. One boundary enforced. One distraction resisted. That's how identity stabilizes. Stop waiting for crisis to activate you. Stop needing pressure to perform. Stop romanticizing chaos as motivation. You can operate calmly now. That's your upgrade. You don't need adrenaline to act anymore. You have control. The strongest version of you is not loud, not dramatic. Steady. Steady when bored. Steady when tempted. Steady when tired. Because you've already proven you can be steady when hurt. So don't waste that evolution. Don't slide back into undisciplined comfort. Don't disrespect the strength you earned. You built resilience where most people would have broken. You regulated where others reacted. You grew under pressure. Now grow without it. Grow deliberately. Grow consistently. Grow without chaos forcing you. This is the final step. Survival forged you. Discipline refines you. The place that hurt you was training. What you do now is application. And if you can heal there, you can build anywhere. Expand. Expand. You've been surviving. You've been stabilizing. You've been holding your ground in the same environment that once destabilized you. That's phase 1, stability. Phase 2 is growth without crisis. Growth without adrenaline. Growth without chaos pushing you forward. That's where most people stall, because without pressure, they soften. Don't soften. Don't downgrade your discipline now that the storm is quieter. You didn't train in the fire just to coast in the calm. Calm is not an excuse to drift. Calm is an opportunity to build clean. When you were hurting, you had no choice but to regulate. You had to breathe carefully. You had to think before reacting. Now you must choose that same regulation on purpose. Intentional focus is harder than forced survival because no one is watching. No one is pressuring you. No one is threatening you. Which means distraction looks harmless. Comfort looks justified. Drift looks acceptable. It's not. Every time you allow small drift, you chip at the structure you built. Every time you abandon routine, you loosen the wiring. You trained your nervous system once. Don't untrain it casually. You earned composure. You earned resilience. You earned control under pressure. Now, earn consistency without pressure. That means showing up when nothing is forcing you. That means doing the work even when your environment isn't threatening you. That means building in peace what you once built in pain. There is a version of you that existed in that difficult place, steady, observant, controlled. That version doesn't disappear just because circumstances changed. That version is available, but you must call it forward. Stop defaulting to the comfortable self. Stop pretending you're less capable now. Stop shrinking your standard just because things are easier. Ease is not the enemy. Complacency is. The nervous system adapts quickly. If you feed it discipline, it strengthens. If you feed it drift, it dulls. You choose the adaptation. Structure your days the way you structured your survival. Deliberate breathing, controlled reactions, measured decisions. Stop waiting for urgency to activate you. Stop using crisis as motivation. Build intensity from intention. Because the world doesn't reward potential. It rewards sustained output. And sustained output requires focus. Focus requires boundaries. Boundaries require courage. Courage to say no. Courage to protect your time. Courage to be boring. Yes, boring. Boring routines. Boring repetition. Boring consistency. That's how identity stabilizes. That's how confidence compounds. That's how strength becomes permanent. You already know how to withstand pressure. Now learn how to create progress without it. Don't shrink just because it's quieter. Expand deliberately. Expand patiently. Expand with control. You survived the place that hurt you. Now build the life that honors that strength. Move forward. You survived by learning to regulate. Now you must thrive by learning to sustain. Sustaining effort without chaos pushing you, that's a higher skill. That's self-leadership. Because no one is pressuring you now. No one is forcing you to hold yourself together. So you must force yourself. Not violently, intentionally. Intention replaces crisis. Routine replaces urgency. Structure replaces panic. When the storm was loud, your focus was reactive. You had to stabilize or collapse. Now the storm is quieter, which means discipline must be proactive. Proactive discipline is subtle. It doesn't wait for a breakdown. It builds before the breakdown happens. That means finishing work before stress forces you. That means resting before exhaustion punishes you. That means setting boundaries before resentment builds. You already understand pressure. Now understand prevention. Stop using past pain as proof you can handle anything. Strength isn't just endurance. Strength is consistency. Endurance kept you alive. Consistency will build your future. You learn to breathe through panic. Now learn to breathe through boredom. That's the next evolution. Boredom is not emptiness. Boredom is stability without stimulation. If you can tolerate boredom, you can build anything. Most people cannot. That's why they scroll. That's why they drift. That's why they repeat. You don't have to. There is power in deliberate monotony. Same wake time, same work block, same shutdown ritual. Predictability calms the nervous system. A calm nervous system sustains focus. The place that hurt you forced adaptation. Now you choose adaptation. Don't let your discipline soften just because the pain softened. Don't regress into impulse because things feel safer. Stability is where mastery is built. You survived chaos. Now master control. Mastery is not loud. It's repetitive. It's restrained. You don't need intensity every day. You need alignment every day. Alignment between what you say and what you do. Alignment between what you want and how you behave. Alignment between your standard and your schedule. Because misalignment is exhausting. That exhaustion you feel sometimes, it's internal contradiction. You say you want growth, then you feed distraction. You say you want peace, then you invite noise. Fix the contradiction, not with emotion, with routine. Every day you act in alignment, friction reduces, confidence increases. Not because you feel powerful, but because you become predictable to yourself. And predictability builds trust. You trusted yourself under pain. Now trust yourself under calm. Expand beyond survival. Expand into intention. Expand into sustainable focus. The environment that hurt you was a test. The life you build now is the proof. Don't waste the adaptation. Don't shrink your capacity. Don't drift back into softness. Build. If you could regulate your heartbeat in the place that shattered you, you can regulate your focus in a quiet room. If you could stay there, you can build here. So build. Build with control. Build with the same fire that kept you alive. No more excuses. No more later. No more hiding behind comfort. You didn't survive that just to be average. You didn't endure that just to be distracted. You didn't heal there just to drift here. This is it. This is the moment where you stop negotiating. This is the moment you lock in. Focus. Commit. Move. No applause. No speech. Just action. Finish it.